All right, labor unions. The California Ag Labor Relations Act of 1975 provides farm workers the ability to unionize. I've already told you that previously. But it required secret ballot elections to avoid intimidation. That was a huge step. Now you can vote in secret. Before, you had to vote out in the open, which opened you up to retaliation by both sides, whichever way you voted. If you voted against the union, you could be intimidated by the union. If you voted for the union, you could be intimidated by the anti-union people. Card check was, which is part of the National Labor Relations Act of 1935, was used to unionize in 1975, prior to 1975. So card check, like its name implies, is a vote on a card with your name, right out in the open. Everybody knows how you voted. Card check is not secret, and therefore intimidation is not only possible, it happened a lot. People would get intimidated through fear, through overt acts. People would get beat up. All kinds of bad things have happened over the years with labor union issues. A card check system was approved in California legislature, but vetoed by Arnold Schwarzenegger. He said, no, this card check system doesn't make sense. He doesn't want to bring back the potential for intimidation by having a card check system. After Jerry Brown vetoed card check in 2011, he approved card check in another bill in October of 2011, but only as a remedy if an investigation shows that an employer has demonstrated unfair labor practices, intimidation, coercion that renders unlikely the possibility of a valid secret ballot. In other words, if the secret ballot, which is the law of the land here in California, if a secret ballot appears to have been manipulated in some way through intimidation or unfair practices, if there's something went on and it doesn't look like that ballot was valid, then card check now legally can be brought into play so that people who want to stand up and say yes union, no union, they can do it, but they have to do it publicly only if there is some sort of problem. And to my knowledge, there have been no test cases, and we have never had card check used since October of 2011 till today. I don't think there has been one. Could have slipped under the radar that I didn't see, but I have not heard of one. Fair Employment and Housing Act in California provides minimum wage standards, rules for overtime pay. Now, yes, greater than 10 hours per day in agriculture is the way it used to be, but please note that it is now over 8 hours as of 2020. That just finished phasing in completely from 2016 to 2020. So now it officially is 8 hours, not 10 as it says here on the slide, unless you're in a union that negotiated for overtime after 10 hours, which is fine. If you have a union contract, this still holds true with a lot of union contracts. Meal periods are guaranteed, rest periods are guaranteed, and certain provisions for access to cool, clean, fresh water, bathrooms, sanitary facilities to wash your hands, shade during breaks and meals, etc. The Equal Opportunity Employment Act of 1972 is designed to ensure fair treatment to all segments of society without regard to race, religion, color, national origin, or sex. And you might ask yourself, what the heck? We had the Civil Rights Act of 1957, another Civil Rights Act to make tons of discriminatory practices illegal in 1964, I think it was. And here it is 8 years later, and we still need to patch things up and create stronger rules because equal opportunity is not always the reality. Fairness, the lack of prejudice and bias against people because of who they are, color of their skin, their religion. It's on the books, all of the discriminatory practices are illegal. In reality, it still happens all the time. So in 1972, it was a shorter list. In 1995, I think this must still be President Clinton, it was amended to have 14 grounds, not only physical impairment, have some sort of disability, your marital status, political beliefs or activities, your race, religion, sex, societal status as a person, age, role in business dealings, lawful sexual activity, physical features, pregnancy, position or past positions held as employment, and association with any person who was identified by reference to any of the 13 other listed grounds. Trying to catch it all, and we still can't catch it all. What if somebody's now transgender, which is a big topic recently? To which I say, give me a break. We're all human. You shouldn't be able to discriminate for any of these things, even if it isn't explicitly listed in the law. So that's just the beginning. There's a whole bunch of things that are in labor law, but these are the things that Jim Bogart thought were the most important for him to point out in his guest lecture before he retired. So there is also another module, and these videos will be right here once I'm done. Instructor outline notes on Jim Bogart labor law. So this again is my own personal outline when I was watching him deliver his speech. Now, I created the PowerPoint based on this outline. So this is not his PowerPoint that you just saw. The only thing that was his was the first slide that showed Grower Shipper Association and that list of, I don't know, 20, 30 different labor and employment related laws. But this is there for you to help study, no problem. And, it's just a Word document. And then you've got a summary paper to do on this with 2 PowerPoint files. So in assignments, like all of your summaries, I want a 2-page minimum. There is some overlap, but you're going to do it on both the PowerPoint files. The first generic labor law PowerPoint plus Jim Bogart, the former president of the Grower Shipper Association. And that is it for labor law.